Hello and welcome back to Sprite's Toys. It's been a long time since we took a look at this, but I've got something quite new to show you. This is the very first toy that I've actually made. This is a little fox from a needle felting kit. It doesn't look very much like the kit set on the box, but it's the very first needle felting project that I've made. And it's just a little kind of stylized fox doll, but I am incredibly happy with it. It's very cute. I didn't do everything exactly like the kit said because it wanted me to do a little bit of sewing for the mouth and the claws that I just wasn't up for. I really enjoy felting, not so much sewing. So this was made by a process called needle felting, which is basically you have a needle like this. It is quite sharp, and it's barbed at the tip. There's little tiny barbs, and when you stick it into some wool, it will actually kind of tangle the wool and cause it to tighten and kind of become more firm. So I actually started this with a wisp of wool like this, and I rolled it up into a ball, and then I started to just poke it all over. And very slowly, as you poke this wool over and over, hundreds and hundreds of times, maybe even thousands of times, because it took me a couple of weeks to make this, but very slowly as you poke it, it will become denser and kind of more matted and more like the toy that I've made over here. And it's a wonderful feeling. Just this very kind of contemplative, slow process. I find it very fun. I find it one of the most fun things I've tried, up there with streaming, which I stream making these on Twitch pretty frequently, every Tuesday, and then also often on Sundays, just because I enjoy it so much that, whenever I have a time on my stream when I can choose what to do, this is pretty often what I choose, though I try to stick to a schedule most of the time, but also leave myself some room to just decide, to do whatever I feel like. So there's actually a link to my Twitch page in the description of this video, so if you want to watch me make these things in real time. I don't think I'm going to put much of that on YouTube because it's so slow. You can see that, this is a little bit more tangled up, but it's still, it's still very wispy in places. And it's really something that takes too long to fit the format of YouTube. And so I find that it is something that is much better suited to Twitch, where it's more normal to do long, slow processes on there, and you can chat with people, and, people can ask questions. I often, tell stories, either about my life or stories that I've made up, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, when you're done poking the wool, you end up with some very cute toys. And so I am really looking forward to making more of these. The next one that I'm going to be making is it is this kit, and it's I don't know if you can read that, it's a Totoro kit. So I'm really looking forward to making that. Totoro is one of my favorite, just kind of cute creatures. One of my favorite movies, and I'm really looking forward to making that. So we'll be starting on Sunday. I start the stream at 7 p.m. Pacific time. But we probably will be starting with some games, and then we'll be doing some felting after that. So I can't really guarantee what time. Usually around 8:30 p.m. And that's, I'm just so happy that I have found such a fun hobby, and I get a stuffed animal out of it. And I love stuffed animals. Eventually, I would like to make some bigger things. I actually have this. It's a felting pen. Let's see if I can get the cap off without getting the needles off. There we go. So this is basically, it's a way of going a little bit faster because it has three needles on it instead of just one. And so it will let you go a little bit faster, get things done. It's good for making bodies, just kind of, ow! Oh my goodness. And that's the other thing about this. It is a little bit dangerous, and I've poked myself many times, never drawn blood, but it does hurt quite a bit when you make a mistake. So, it's something to watch out for. Sometimes I will actually use a pencil, especially if I want to go really fast, to kind of hold down what I'm doing and let me jab a little bit more wildly without worrying about my fingers. Now, one thing about this that is, really gives you a lot of control is that wherever you jab it starts to shrink, and kind of nothing else does. And so if you really want to shape something, you can just, start to jab it on one side, and that side will kind of become indented. And so, if we want to make a ball here, we have to rotate it a lot. But if we wanted to make something more potato shaped, like with this fox, what I did was I made kind of a cylinder, and then I went around the neck and I kind of jabbed it in until it narrowed a bit. So that's needle felting, and that's the little fox I made, and I am so happy to have made it, and I'm happy to share it with you. So hopefully I'll be doing more of these as I finish more projects. I'll be working from kits for the first few, but eventually I would really like to start doing some stuff that is, more freehand. So, that's a long-term thing. Arts always take a very long time. It always, art is one of the hardest things in the world. It takes so much practice and so much patience. And so, as much as I love this thing I've made, it's very lopsided, it's very disproportionate, and there's a lot for me yet to learn. I'm trying to learn more about proportion, more about kind of how big things are in relation to other things, and trying to develop an eye for that. And so it's going to be a really fun journey, and I want to share with you as I make some progress. So hopefully we'll be doing more of these videos in not too long. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.